So this necklace here measures 13 inches long approximately. So you can see from the picture on the front of the instructions, and you can see on this video where the necklace falls, so you can see whether that suits you and if you want it slightly longer or slightly shorter. So it's up to you. Now inside your bag you have your twine like this. You've got a needle like that. It's not a sharp needle, it's a blunt needle. And you've also got your instructions, and you have a bag of buttons. Now I suggest to put a blanket down, or I've put the pillowcase down, just something to stop them running off the table, because that's what tends to happen when you put buttons on a table. So there's your buttons in your pack. I'm just going to put those to one side for a minute. Just give you a few tips about this cord. It's quite long. You've got 2.5 meters here. If you've got it in 2 pieces, then use just the longest piece, and then if you run out, then you can always tie the other one on to one of the buttons as you go. Now the best thing to do is to, I kind of wet the end. You can wet it with a little bit of saliva like so, and then bash it down, or just do your teeth. Just sort of like, you know, squidge it down with your teeth and push it through. And then you only want a small end like so. You've got quite a long, so you're going to start with one end. Now out come the buttons. Put them on the table. You can see what you've got then. Spread them out. Obviously you want some plan in action, and what I tend to suggest is to pick out the ones that you like the look of, you know, maybe the big ones, the nice colour ones. Got a mixture of sizes. You've got some vintage greys, browns, taupes, that sort of thing, and it's lovely to mix them in with the brights. But you do your thing. I mean, everybody's different, aren't they? I'm just going to separate out the big ones, because I fancy the big ones where you can see them, and then maybe the smaller ones around the back of the neck. So the first thing we do is take a button and push the needle through one of the holes. Now you can see from this necklace, I don't know if you can see here, but I've actually added a little button on top of a big button, and it just gives that button a little bit more interest, and you can play around with colour coordination, which is always nice. So I've got a purple here. I like purple with orange, so I'm going to put an orange, small orange one in the middle, and then push your cord through and take it. Let me just push these buttons out the way for the minute so you can see what I'm doing. So you're going to push the button to the end. Now you want to leave about a hand's width of thread at the far end. And then you go down the next hole and out through the back and pull the cord tight. There we go. And lay it down on the table or on your lap if you're working on your lap. Now you're going to get a second button. Now if you're going to have the small button in the middle, then choose a large button and go in through the back of the button and up to the front, and then choose yourself. I'm going to go for like a bit of a neutral with a bright pink, so, and then up through the small one and then back down and all the way through to the other side again. Now I've got a very small button there, so I'm going to just go through the big one and leave the small one with just one end going through it. But if you've got a button with larger holes, you could have easily gone through it again. And then we're going to go down, and instead of going all the way through, we're going to go out the middle like so. So we're going to pass the needle out through the middle like so. So have your other buttons out of the way because they can get a little bit in the way there. That's it. And then pull it tight. So there you have one set. It looks like that. So next you get another button. So I'm going to go for a bright yellow. And I'm going to again go up through the back. And then what am I going to have with yellow? I think I might have pink. Go for it. And through one of the holes of the smaller buttons, and then down through the next button. Now I've got 4 holes on this button, so I might just do a little cross. That always looks nice, doesn't it? And then pull. And what you want to do is to make sure there's no twine showing, or very little in between. You want them sort of side by side. Turn it over, and then we're going to get another button. So let's go for a neutral, because you know this is what looks nice with the neutrals looking sitting side by side with the brights. And then I think I might go for a green, if I've got a green one. Oh, I've got a sort of triangular, well, not triangular, rectangular one there, so I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go wild. There we go. And then down through the next button, hole, and up through the hole on the other side. Now I've got 4 holes here, so I'm going to try and get my needle, there we go, through the spare hole. Pull, and that's it, and then down through the hole that's spare, and again out through the middle, like so, and pull it. Pull it tight so it's nice and secure, and then you're ready to thread the next one. So you can see it's sort of gradually coming together. So I've done 2 there, and you continue on in the same way all the way around, remembering that when you get to about 12 inches, and you know, keep measuring it as you're going, you might want to add some of your special ones with lovely see, look at that one, that is gorgeous, isn't it? So I'm going to have that one at a strategic position. Even that one's nice as well. So and then make sure that you position your special buttons about halfway. So I'm going to carry on doing that, and then I'll see you when I've got all my buttons strung together. So I'm coming to the end now. I'm just threading up the last of my buttons, and I'm just going to put another one there like so, and a little yellow one in the middle. And I've really had fun sort of picking the colours and choosing the ones where they're going to go, and then out through the middle, and then off. Now I'm going to come to the point where I want to finish and join the string of buttons together to make the necklace. Now there's a couple of things you can do. The first thing, the really simple method, of course, is to just tie it together. So if you tie it together in a reef knot, so it's right over left, left over right, pull the ends tightly. I'm not going to do it because I want to show you the other way. Pull the ends tightly, and then thread the end of the cord in through the back of the button either side. So that's one method, but of course you've got to get the necklace over your head. So if it's a little bit, you know, shorter, then you might want to do the second method, where you have a loop and a button to undo it and do it up. So to make the loop on one side, what you do is you just make your loop like that, but wrap it round the central button. So it's that one. And then with the end, you just tie it to the loop. So you're tying, so instead of two ends, you've got one end and a loop, and you're just tying a knot with it. And tie your knot, and then with your spare end, just thread it into the back of the buttons next to it, like so. And then just pull it through. Might be a better idea to do it one at a time. So there we go. So we've got my loop there, and my end I'm threading into the back of the button adjacent to it. And I've got my spare bit. There we go. So there you are. You have your little, now my loop's quite small. So you cut that off. Cut your end of thread off like so. And then thread up the other end again. Like so. You need to really flatten it down the end to get it in through the, it's a very large eye, but it just needs to be flat. There we go. And you just squash it down with your teeth. There we go. So with this end, I want two small buttons. Now you can always check by popping it through the loop just to check that it's the right size. So that one looks fine. So I'm popping one button on that side. I'm not going to put the small button on the top because it already is a small button. So thread it through and then get your second little button, and that goes on the other side. So it's, now these small buttons, they're about 1 centimetre. If my loop was any bigger, I could have gone up to 1.5, and then just fill in the holes like so. There we go. And then out through the middle, just like we've been doing all along, like so. Sometimes it's good to press the needle into the table, and that kind of pushes it for you. There we go. Because sometimes the smaller buttons, the thread, you know, kind of, you're forcing a thread through a small hole, and then thread it through the back of the needle beside it. And if you want to be even more secure, you could thread it to the back of the next one as well, and then trim it off. There we go. So there you have your little anchor button there, and it's just a case of threading it onto, let's go fingers and thumbs, there we go. So threading it over, there we are, and that means that you can undo it or do it up at your leisure. And there you have your lovely necklace. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and please subscribe down below. Press the button subscribe, because then you'll be notified of any other videos that I do. So thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.